I've made thousands of videos online at this point, and I'm going to share with you what I think makes really good content. Not viral hooks, tips, and tricks. I'm talking about some deep layer perspectives that will help you get a lot more out of the process of creating content. By now, I hope you've heard of the priority matrix. On one line, you have the axis of urgency. On one line, you have the axis of importance. And every day, really focusing on doing the things that are urgent and important. But that is not the topic of today's video. The topic of today's video is creating brand building content with the benefit of actually developing yourself, because it isn't as urgent. If you don't show up and post content, no one's gonna bat an eyelid in today's day and age. But it is important. And I'm going to give you an extra reason why creating brand building content that becomes a personal development vehicle will be one of the most valuable perspective shifts that I can give you today. It's a juicier way to learn. Why am I the guy to share this? At this point, I've gotten around about 100 million views organically on social media for my own businesses and clients' businesses. So I'm gonna share exactly what I've done to do that. I believe one of the most meaningful and purposeful things we can do is create while we're here on this planet. And one of the golden rules of creating content for businesses is creating something that's valuable to others. So you might be wondering, well, how can you develop yourself if you're adding value to other people? They've done studies with two different classes of children. One class, they told them that at the end of the lesson, they're actually going to be teaching that content to somebody else. In the other class, they just taught them the lesson. Guess who learned better? The ones who knew that they were going to teach. So in your niche, in your business, as you are going about learning, becoming an expert in your industry, you also can add to that the awareness that you're going to teach that through content creation. And that opens your mind to go deeper into the subjects and the content that you're actually learning about. Now, the way you learn is completely up to you, your curiosity and your obsession about the problem that you're solving. Whether you're reading books, blog posts, tweets, wherever you're getting the information from, it's up to you to figure out how you're going to categorize that, how you're going to package that in a way that's consumable by someone who might be a step or two behind you. At this point, you might be, well, okay, easy, I'll just jot my notes and kind of turn that into content and crank it out. I'm gonna give you an extra couple tips from my own personal experience why there's a couple other things you might wanna do. Now, as you're learning, it's not time to publish just yet. I would highly suggest that before you teach, you integrate, you actually apply this information before putting it out there and adding to the noise. And yes, the more conviction you have that you are 100% right about the message you're sharing, the lesson you've just learned, be aware. And I can tell you this from personal experience, you might be wrong. And that's okay. Opinions change, knowledge changes, an open mind does change and evolve. But please pay attention to integrating what you've learned. You're going to learn it at a deeper level before you teach somebody else. And when you're building a business, you will most likely face struggles. But when you understand that those struggles, those difficult times that you're going through are preparing you to give something of value in the future, it makes that struggle a little bit sweeter. It makes it a little bit lighter. It gives you a bit of light at the end of that struggle tunnel. As they say, it doesn't get easier, you just get better. So then comes step number 3, which is creating the content. It's hitting the record button and embodying the person that you're becoming. Not embodying the person that you were, you're embodying the person that has integrated the lessons that you've learned. We know that the world resonates with who we become. So this process of identifying where you want to go in your business, what type of expertise you want to build in your business, you're all defining who you are becoming. And each time you press record is an invitation to step into that you 2.0, that new embodied version of you. It's at this exact time that many people fall off the bandwagon. There is a monster and it is called resistance. It will disguise itself in an infinite number of ways, from needing better equipment, needing to get better weather, needing to be in a certain place, a certain time, a certain situation to create and enter that state of creative flow. If you are aware of that, you're able to make the choice to act anyway. The sooner you learn this lesson that I'm sharing with you, the sooner you'll be on your way to enter into a more magnetic, creative state of flow. I've just done an 8-hour shift in a cafe working on the computer, on other things, on some of the important and urgent things. And now I'm here because I've made a commitment to myself to build that consistency muscle, not only in my posture correction brand, but here on my personal channel. Above all, consistency is probably the #1 trait that's going to guarantee you success. If you ask Mr. Beast or if you ask me, what can you do to get great at videos? We're both going to say, make 100 videos. It's the simplest answer that will weed out your will to actually get this done and actually integrate this content creating skill as part of who you are. As you're building the consistency skill, it's also about developing the skill of having that idea and publishing. There's a lot of little steps from having that idea to scripting it, to recording it, to editing it, to putting captions and descriptions, and then publishing it on different platforms. There's a lot of little steps that you can get trip up on the way, but the general goal here is to minimize that gap between ideation and publishing. Hit publish 100 times and you'll solve most of those problems. So in this world of infinite opportunity where you can build a brand based on the silliest passions and excitements that you may have, your ability to do this is going to be the skill that allows you to materialize it into this world. The part that people don't talk about as much when they talk about vision boards, it's not just the environment that you're imagining that you're bringing into your reality, it's who you're becoming. So add that, identify that. Who do you want to become? And then integrate that path, that process, that evolution into your content creation strategy as you're passing this information in whatever creative way you can come up with to deliver it to your audience. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope I've flexed my value delivering muscle in this video. Let me know in the comments below, did you find that valuable? Do you want me to talk more about content creation, building brands? Happy to help out. It's what I'm doing. It's what I'm good at. And to wrap this up, I'm just going to show you what's going on. I'm going to give you a little walking panorama here of a beach in Bali. Very nice lifestyle. Getting used to the time zone has definitely been a challenge. I think all of this international optimization that we're going through is really rearranging civilization into different time zones for the people who need to work at the same time as their teams. Not everyone has to, but I do see that this is becoming a bit of an organizing factor. Now that we have the internet everywhere with Starlink, we're not going to cities to kind of organize our civilization. We're going to time zones because we can work in the same time zones a lot easier. Anyway, I think content is one of those things that separates you from that time and business relationship. You can make the content whenever you want, you can upload it whenever you want, and it'll reach people when they need it. See you in the next one.